Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Good day, sir.
And how are you?
I am fine, thank you, Jim. Welcome, everyone. What are you staring at? You're looking.
Dale, is it?
Is
it Dale? Okay.
Two guys, one coup. Soon to be one guy, one coup. Anyways, welcome everybody to the show. This is episode 22. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support and for following and liking and listening to us where you can. We'll mention it at the end of the show again. Good show coming up. Have some good topics, and more importantly, stick around for the second half of the show. We have an interview with Lavern Spicer.
Our first interview. Our maiden voyage. Lavern is running for Congress in Florida's 24th congressional district. You're going to want to stick around to hear that for sure. Trust me on it. Yep. You're going to want to hear that. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Jim, let's get started here. What do you think? Let's get on with our first story and get this thing moving today. Okay.
You're up, my friend.
All right. Again, we got to hand it to the liberal left, right?
Well, why this time, Jim?
Well, look, this is not a funny story by any stretch of the imagination, but I have to talk about it, and it's because of the reaction of the White House. And what we're also going to talk about on top of that, because this won't take long to review. So what we'll talk about that is, of course, then we'll go on to the Elon Musk thing, because I think it kind of ties together with the way the liberal left is just hypocrite, right? How many times do we have to use that word? So, the Texas Army National Guard Specialist, Bishop Evans, 22. A lot of you probably heard the story that this was a serviceman who went into the Rio Grande River to save two immigrants who were crossing over and were swept away. Well, he drowned. Bishop Evans drowned. And so as this story comes out now, we find out that the two immigrants that were crossing over were, in fact, drug runners. So he risked his life to save drug runners. But that's when you hear the stories, how the families talk about this young man, that's who he was. That's who he was. That is what he did. He was going to do that 9 out of 10 times, maybe even 10 out of 10 times. But folks out there, that's what first responders do.
That's right.
They don't wait to see who you are. They don't wait to do a background check on you. They go head first.
They don't care what political party you are. They don't care what gender you are. They don't care what you identify as. This is what they do.
This is what they do. From nurses to policemen to firemen to any first responder that's out there, military, whatever. This is what they do. This man is admirable. And then hearing his grandmother talk on Fox that I heard, it was, this is what he does. He wasn't going to be any different than who he was. Unfortunately, they found his body a day or two later after he had drowned. It was unfortunate. Very, very, it was a really, I think, a cool scene as they were dragging him after they were carrying him up. He was draped in an American flag, and everybody was saluting as he was coming up. It's just a great story from that standpoint. So as they interviewed the leaders of Texas, they just talked about how brave he was, how he risked his life to save. They didn't bring anything political into it.
Of course,
Greg Abbott did not bring anything into this whatsoever, but our White House did.
Of course they did.
Jen Psaki, I guess she's my girlfriend, according to Dale.
Well,
she
You're a little smitten with her.
She was talking about this with the press. Okay. And I'm not going to get the whole quote right, but I'm going to summarize it. Okay. And this is what she said. They did say we feel for the family of the servicemen, and we, thank him for his service. And it was they did talk about how it was a sad situation. She didn't leave it at that. She had to make it political. She said, however, he was not there at the urgency or the direction from us, the federal government. He was there at the urgency from Texas. In other words, Greg Abbott. She didn't use his name. She didn't say governor. She just said Texas. Well, okay, you're right. He was the governor of Texas to help secure our borders that are just going through. I mean, people just walking right through, and we can't keep up with it. Our border patrol, the brave men and women down there, there's only so many and there's only so much they can do. So he called up the guardsmen. But he had to because of the lack of response from the federal government for not doing a damn thing about it. Our borders are useless. Kamala Harris, right? She's the border czar. She was in charge with fixing it.
Yep.
So they, again, blamed another person for this tragedy instead of taking any responsibility for this at all, because Greg Abbott this young man would not have been in the position he was in if our federal government would have done what needs to be done to protect our border.
Which is, we've had sense conclusion.
Just in basic stops that we were able to catch people crossing the border, we were able to nab between 18 to 27 terrorists on the terrorist list.
Correct.
Okay, that's not counting how many made it through.
That's right.
Okay, because we're not catching everybody. We don't have enough people down there. That's a big border. So, so anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that it's another situation where there's no responsibility taken whatsoever. This young man lost his life doing what first responders do, and we're not hearing about that. But one of the things I thought was very interesting from when we listen to some other things and listen to how we go, that maybe this isn't being talked about. This young man's African American. I never mentioned that.
Nope.
Right? This young man's African American. An African American died, okay, trying to rescue two people. Now, and I hate to say it this way, but if this young man would have threatened the police or would have done something horrible which caused the police to shoot him, it would have been all over the story, right?
Correct.
This doesn't fit their narrative. Okay, this young man died doing what he did as a hero for our country as a first responder.
Yep.
And the media is not talking about it.
Silence.
The media is not going out saying, "Okay, Biden, what are you doing now? This is bad. We just
this is a result of your failed policies."
Not only trying to protect two people crossing over, breaking the law, by the way, they were drug runners. That makes it even worse.
Additionally, breaking the law.
Yeah. So
criminals crossing the border.
Look, this has got to stop being a political issue. Because this is not a political issue. This is literally a
human
country's safety. This is the safety of America. This is, of all the, because you're going to go into a story here too about another illegal in a little bit. It's when is enough enough? When are enough of our American citizens going to die because of the fentanyl coming across the border? We still have that going on constantly because the drugs come across the border because we don't want to stop it. The sex trafficking that goes on. Okay, that just continues going back and forth. And Greg Abbott, God bless him, he's trying to do everything he can. He brought up the National Guard to try and help out, to try and do this, try and do that. And it's working a little bit. And now there's a chance that Title 42 is going to be removed and revoked, which is going to make it even worse.
A damn good chance. And if people don't know about it, that was a Trump-enforced I don't want to say law. I don't know how. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong term, but Trump enforced Title 42 when COVID happened to allow no travel across the border, right?
Because of COVID, right?
Because of COVID. Well, Biden's about to get rid of that, and he will. He will do that. Well, Biden will be told to do that.
Biden will be told to do that.
Right? Biden will be told to do that. And when does it end? And when do Americans get fed up with it? We're all fed up with it. Yeah. We are. We just don't have the power.
Well, see,
to do it.
They're not coming in for the jobs anymore.
No,
when initially that's what we were told. Well, we have jobs. We have the jobs. No, they're coming in for the free shit we give them.
That's right.
And I know, look, the Catholic charities, in some cases, the Catholic charities will take these individuals and bring them in, they'll give them housing, give them money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the United Nations, for crying out loud, I guess from some stories and some reports that were being out, the United Nations helps them with money. They give them cards with money on it.
Yeah.
Illegals. Yeah. We have
Illegals.
People in our country, our own country, that are starving, that don't have the food to put on the table, and the left doesn't give a shit about them. But they say we don't give a crap about them. No, we want to do the policies to help prevent that. But we're giving how many billions of dollars to cover illegals, to give them money to live here illegally.
Yep.
It's just it's sick and it's disgusting. And I'm going to venture to guess that if we wanted to, from the conservative side, if we had anybody, I'll bet you anything, if you research this enough, just the border crisis alone could potentially become an impeachable issue.
Yep, I agree.
mean, it's because our safety of our country is gone. I mean, it's gone. We have terrorists coming into this country, walking in, and he doesn't seem to give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit.
These are potential voters.
Exactly, it's potential voters, and they think. I think they truly think, and now polls and studies are coming out where I think they believe that by them allowing illegals in, and most of them Hispanic in nature, right? Yep. Whether Guatemalan or whether they're from, Panama, whether they're from Mexico. I think they truly think that the current legal Latinos in this country are like, hey, yay, more of us. We're going to vote for that guy because he let all these people. It's the exact opposite. And they've got to know this.
Yeah, look at the polling.
Look at the polling. So on top of maybe that thought process, what could possibly be another reason they want, or they don't care as much about illegals coming over? Well, they somehow now have to counteract the legal Latino vote by getting more that are dependent on them, that are dependent on the government, that will vote their way. I mean, that is exactly that's. I can't fathom another reason why they want to put our country's security at risk, besides them being, just buffoons.
Yeah,
right. Which they are.
You're right, Dale. I mean, you hit it right on the head. The latest polls that we went over this with one of the last not this last one, but I think
a couple shows ago, I think
episode 20, where his approval rating with Hispanic voters is in the 20s. I mean, it's terrible. In the 20s. And
terrible
approval rating. You know what? You are exactly right. That's the only thing that we can possibly think of why
I can't surmise any other way.
They're letting this in. Oh my God, we just lost millions of votes now. We got to get something to get these voters.
We got to get them back.
I joke about it all the time, but I bet you anything it's happening is that as they're coming over, they're also being given registration ballots.
Oh,
register to vote. Register to vote wherever we send you. And so I think more governors like Abbott needs to, we'll take all the illegals we get, we're going to put them on a bus, and we're going to send them to you.
Send them up.
And I think the third bus arrived in D.C.
I think it did.
So anyway, this is just a horrible, they don't take any responsibility whatsoever, this administration. It's always somebody else's fault. And now one of my favorite comments that she made, kind of in line with that, is we all know about the Elon Musk, right? He purchased Twitter. So my favorite quote from Psaki, I'm really starting to, I think I'm going to have to break up with her because it's just, this is just
you might want to notify her.
Yeah. I'm going to notify her that we can't go on anymore. This is just done.
Love affair.
But she sits there and says that, when she was asked the question about Elon Musk, she goes, well, yes, we are concerned. President Biden has always been concerned with regulation of social media. And I'm sitting here going,
my God.
I'm like, she just said that.
Who in their right mind would believe that? And that question was asked of her from a reporter from PBS.
Yep.
Not necessarily well known for their right-leaning ways, let's be honest.
Exactly.
They are quite left. And it was asked her if they were concerned about this. What do you think, about Elon? And that's the answer she gave, Jim, was exactly what you said, that President Biden's always been concerned. Well, look at the lunatic left about ready to just jump off the tallest building because Elon Musk bought Twitter. For God's sakes, is that what we've come to in this nation? Is that they're the champions for free speech, are they not? Mm-hmm. Guys, they're lying sacks of shit is what they are, and have been for so long. They are now so afraid because Elon bought Twitter that the opposing view is going to be reinstated, which is free speech.
Yeah.
Which they are deathly afraid of. And why could that be, Jim? Why would they be afraid of free speech? Maybe because their message is all lies?
Well,
could that be it?
For those in San Francisco and in places like San Francisco, you need to listen to me. Mm-hmm. If I make a statement that San Francisco people are idiots, okay, that's free speech. If your feelings get hurt, that's on you. That's not on me. That's on you. That's your issue to deal with as you go.
Correct.
But see, you can sit there and say that, well, that Jim and that Dale, man, they're horrible people. They're racist. They're bigots and everything. We need to get them off. We need to get them off the show. That is not that is you are violating our free speech. Okay? Correct. Because we are not those. We've given no indication that we are those. No. That's the label that you guys give us.
That's right.
Not that.
But that is not free speech. That is
exactly.
That used to be called in this country, and I'm no legal expert, Jim, slander.
Yeah.
I think that's still against the law. I'll have to look up my law books.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think I'm a hell of a lot more accurate calling people in San Francisco idiots than they would be calling us other kinds of names they want to call us. But guess what? Call me every name you want to.
Yep.
Call me.
Well, I don't care.
I don't
care what
you
call me.
You have a right to your opinion.
See, there's the difference.
Do I.
But here's the difference, though. They call you a racist or a bigot. We call them idiots. There's plenty of proof that they're idiots, right?
Yep.
We can back up what we say.
Yep.
There's no evidence out of them calling conservatives or people like us those kind of names. Just none whatsoever.
It's a name tag to say. It's
a name tag.
Easy to do. So it just bugs me now because you got Elizabeth Warren, that great voice of the left, which I'm sorry, guys, you need to move on from them.
Chief sitting bullshit, you mean?
We, as conservatives, don't listen to McConnell anymore. All right, we don't listen to
McCarthy.
Romney.
I don't listen to McConnell. I don't listen to Romney.
We moved on from those idiots that are doing nothing other than causing problems and making still more money as they're in office.
Correct.
But no, you guys, you embrace the Bernie Sanders. You embrace the
AOCs,
Elizabeth Warrens, the AOCs.
The Elizabeth,
to your detriment. It's to your detriment.
As you'll see in November, to their detriment.
But just because somebody's feelings are hurt doesn't mean your free speech is. It doesn't mean you need to take that away. Tucker Carlson was removed from Twitter. Why? One, because he wouldn't stop talking about the Hunter Biden. He kept bringing it up. He kept getting warned.
Guess what? Turns out.
And turns out that, for those of you in San Francisco, pay attention to the news.
Yeah, it's true.
You talk about the Durham report now. I mean, how soon before people start saying, okay, well, we might have to do something? Because you notice now Hillary's not the favorite to run, and she may not run in 2024.
She's not even listed.
I wonder why.
She's not even listed, which is just odd.
So anyway, that's
considering where she was.
I'm just, it just gets frustrating. You and I, we talk about the left's hypocrisy constantly all the time. And I don't want them silenced. I do not want the left silenced. You continue to say what you say, continue to do what you do, because it only helps our candidates in the next couple elections. So keep talking. I don't care. I have a right to disagree. I have a right to disagree. But where your danger comes in is when all of a sudden now you want to regulate social media because Elon Musk bought Twitter and said he is going to make it a platform for free speech.
Correct. Mm-hmm. You understand. Last I saw, free speech was a right.
Yep.
Feelings were not.
Nope.
But, you know.
Grow a pair, folks.
In their constitution, it must be in the Bill of Rights somewhere. Yeah. Feelings,
exactly.
You know.
Oh, trust me, they would put it in.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Jim, you want to move on here?
Let's move on to the next one.
Sounds good. Well, speaking of illegals, I know this story has also been around the news, if you've been paying attention at all, but there was a horrific murder in New York of a 51-year-old mother by what turns out to be an illegal that's been in this country for well over 20 years with an expired visa of well over 20 years.
Yep.
So there's more to this story. But the headline reads as this, though. This is the part I kind of want to get to and then get into why. Chilling clips. David Bonola, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I haven't heard it pronounced. Bonola. Shared disturbing YouTube videos about murder, rape, and obsessive love before killing Ursula Gall, who was the 51-year-old mother in New York, for which he brutally murdered. So that's interesting.
You said YouTube, right? You said YouTube, right? Okay.
I don't know if you caught that. You know those same people that take down our clips.
Two of our episodes because
same people that take down our good friend Mark Kramer over at the Conservative took down his clips. Yeah. But you could go up there and you could have saw David Bonola's.
Yep.
What I'm going to say was probably instructional videos on rape, obsessive love, and murder. There are thousands of videos carefully organized into multiple playlists, including over 750 videos of local news reports about violent crimes, including rapes, murders, and shootings. Some of the videos were about high-profile murders, similar to the one that Bonola, 44-year-old immigrant, has been in this country since 2001. Now, not an immigrant crossed the border from Mexico immigrant. He's Eastern European.
Right.
Bonola claims that he and the married woman, the 51-year-old mother, had an on and off love affair for 2 years, culminating in the alleged murder. She had hired him as a handyman for their home. That's it. There's no proof of an on again, off again love affair.
If you see
that, I find go on. Look
at the pictures. There's no way. I'm sorry.
They're saying it's Bonola. They're saying he has a striking resemblance to Slash from Guns N' Roses. That in itself would tell you. Ew.
Well, first of all, Slash is not an attractive man either.
That's what I'm saying. You know, his alleged channel contained clips about the stabbing death of an 18-year-old Bernard College student, Tessa. I don't have her last name. I apologize. A news report about the death of sex therapist Amy Harwick, the ex-fiancée of actor Drew Carey, was also shared on his channel. A playlist named Interesting featured a video titled How an AK-47 Works. One playlist contained over 200 videos in the same vein with a clip called 7 Mindsets That Attract Women Like Crazy. So I think you're kind of getting yourself into the mindset of who this guy was. He was obsessed with this kind of thing, which is interesting in itself, right? But more to the point, and I think what we really want to get into here, is the fact that he was here illegally. It's another example of failed immigration policies, and this time, not because of Biden, not because of Trump, not because of Obama, but because of George W. Bush, who is a globalist, as I think we know. He's kind of a new world order globalist. if he's intelligent enough to kind of determine what that fact is.
Uh,
So there are just reports of people who have seen this guy around everywhere. A former barista told the New York Post, his stories from the New York Post, he was creepy. He stalked people. Everyone knew he was a weird individual. So this isn't that typical, geez, I lived next door to him for 40 years. I'd have never seen it coming, you know? This guy had videos out there about stuff like this, which is not illegal. The videos he had, I'm not saying were illegal. They are suspect to why YouTube might have left them up there, obviously, and they are creepy, but those weren't illegal. Him being here was, though. Yeah. She claimed, this barista, that Bonella would drop in the tip jar love notes and songs that he would make about us. Now, some might say that's romantic.
He's a romantic, yeah.
There's probably a rom-com made about this somewhere.
Yeah.
He even went as far as proposing to two of them, which is super unsettling because of how weird the interactions were, she added. Mm-hmm. The man would visit the coffee shop multiple times a week, ordering the same items, a dark roast pour over and a lemon loaf or banana loaf, according to the barista. During his time, he would allegedly propose to the female staff, giving them notes and also pieces of jewelry. The barista also claimed that the man would ask the workers personal questions such as their birthdays, ages, and where they lived. She says, and I quote, "I'm speechless that it was him after all the creepy incidents that happened and how unsettling he made everyone feel, especially the females I work with and even the customers in the lobby. It's crazy to think about." Well, I think they feel, as she kind of goes on to describe here, and I don't need to go into it much more, that they saw this coming. He's had complaints about him because of what they would consider stalking behavior. Mm-hmm. Nothing happened. Is that the New York City's police's fault, or is that a New York City policy fault? Would they
have been able to do anything with him anyway? They would have went and talked to him. He would have said, no, I'm kidding.
He's on an expired visa.
They wouldn't have.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's part of the immigration,
because even if
illegal immigration problem.
Even if they wanted to, the DA would have said, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure about that, Jim? Or is that, I mean, I think so, coming from New York, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think we could say that coming from New York.
If it was somewhere in Florida, Indiana, Texas, probably not. But it depends where you're at.
I have a feeling, and obviously clearly an opinion, but opinion based on precedent.
Yep.
That if they were to ask Jen Paskey any question about this illegal, she would say, well, that's a New York problem.
They're not talking about it.
That's it. Well, of course not. They're not talking about it. Again, it's not the narrative they want. It's just like how they're not talking about the subway shooter.
What
happened to him?
Yeah, why are we talking about him?
Where'd he go? Why is he not in the news?
Who also had YouTube videos of...
videos. So maybe this is more...
But you and I can't talk about potential issues with the 2020 election, and we can't talk about things people are reporting on. Yeah.
Right? We can't talk about things that you can go out to the internet and actually find if you want without being taken down. But YouTube leaves this kind of content up.
But here's another American that was murdered by an illegal. And we're talking about this, and it was George Bush that did it, folks. So for those of you who want us to blame Obama and Biden for all this stuff, oh no, we don't like illegals at all.
No, we don't like the fact that they're here illegal.
Yes, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, like we don't like
some of them. Some of them are nice. Yeah. Some of them are nice, I'm sure. Some of them are here for work. Yeah. Some of them are here for legitimate reasons. Yeah, but the problem is when you let them in, you let these other ones.
Where do you draw the line? You have to draw the stiff line and the hard stance and say nobody. Yep. Sorry, it takes a while. It shouldn't be easy to become a citizen of this country. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. Yeah. And that's the complaint. And they're it takes so much money and it takes so many years. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a protection for our country. You and I, we won the birth pool. We were born here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the birth lottery. We won it. I'm sorry, but I can't apologize for being an American, and I don't want to apologize for having stiff immigration policies, because we see, how many stories do we have to see about illegals killing, whether it's drunk driving incidents, whether it's murders, whether it's you name it. They're responsible for, the fentanyl and the drug overdose. How many stories do we have to see before you just shut the whole damn thing down?
And say, how many of these liberal politicians that are the ones that are not wanting to close the border, getting on Donald Trump for wanting to do it, when President Trump wanted to put a wall up to protect us? How many of them live in compounds where they have walls for security? For a security purpose. So it's, again, it's okay for other people. It's okay for the people of Texas to have to deal with this, because some of these people are not good people, guys. I mean, they're not good people. And so now you have them living on the border, the Americans living on the border, having to worry about their children being left out, worried about going out because here comes these individuals. It's insulting that they feel that I need a fence around my house because I don't want people coming in that could hurt me. Exactly. Hello. Yeah. So. Yeah. And let's go one step further. What is the cost to the American taxpayer for illegal immigrants? What is the cost to feed them, house them, transport them, give them health care? I don't know. Okay, and I don't know what that cost is. I don't know that I could narrow down a number. I'm sure there's opinions out there, and I'm sure there's probably figures out there. Astronomical. And how much of that money could go towards the inner cities? Yeah. How much of that could go towards repairing schools, education? How much of that could go towards citizens' health care? I mean, the sky's the limit. Or one step further with education, raising teacher salary. Exactly. Hello, or first responders. And unfortunately, the group of people that we're talking about when it comes to education and stuff like that are on the left and that support this crap. That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate because you're right, Dale. The money that we spend. Because they come in and they're getting benefits when they come in here. They sure are. So, man, if we could just stop that, put more money into the education system, put more money into our roads, whatever. However you want to do it, improve this country, improve the lives of the people that live in this country. And then, hey, if you want to come here, here's what you have to do. We already have that. We already have that step in process. Well, that's the shit part. Is that we don't have to make anything new up. Right. It's already there in black and white form. Make the laws. Yeah. Just enforce it. Yeah, enforce it, and take that money that you're spending now on every illegal who's coming into this country. And no, they're not all murdering. Stop. I get it. And spend it on the inner cities. Spend it on the schools. Spend it on first responders. Spend it on roads, infrastructure. Things that make this country better, just like you said. It's exactly, I repeated basically what you said, but you can't say it enough. That's what it takes. So, Jim, that's all I got on that. I am so looking forward to our next segment. It is our interview with Lavern Spicer, Congresswoman out of the 24th District in Florida. So everybody stick around, stay tuned for that, and we'll talk to you in a minute. Well, we are honored and excited to have on our show Lavern Spicer. Lavern is running for U.S. Congressional District 24 out of Florida, which encompasses, and if I'm wrong, Lavern, you tell me, it's Opelika, North Miami, Hollywood, and Miramar. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That is correct. So she is running for Congress against an incumbent who's done nothing for a decade, but we'll let her talk to herself. Lavern, thank you for coming on the show. We do appreciate it. Tell us about who you are and why you're running and what got you into this.
Well, I'm Lavern Spicer, American First candidate for District 24 in Miami, Florida. I'm running for Congress because I believe in this country, and I believe that for such a time as this, we need fighters that are not afraid to speak their mind, that are not afraid to be vocal, that are not afraid to fight for this country and for the injustice that we see taking place all throughout the United States. Yep. It's truly an embarrassment to me with some of the stuff that I see that's taking place. I find it to be quite unbelievable. And right now I'm running against Frederica. She's been in that seat for at least 11 years. Mm-hmm. And she does absolutely nothing for the district. The district is one of the poorest in the state of Florida. And when she first got elected, one of her first bills she tried to pass was one that would allow her to wear her big cowboy hat on the floor in Congress. Nothing about her district, nothing about the constituents, nothing for the business owners, just all about herself. And that's one of the biggest problems we have with these people that are in Congress and these other seats that have been in there forever. Yep. You know, they're on their own agenda and nothing about their constituents. They only need us when they come out, when it's time for them to run again. Other than that, they sell us the same song, the same dance, and, you know, people vote for them over and over again, and that's why we end up with the same results. Yep. You know, correct. I mean, it's time for a change. It's time for people to start waking up and thinking differently, because it's a different time and we have different things that are going on. So we need new people in these seats. Not career politicians that have been in there for 40, 50 years. They need to go. And go quickly, because the decisions they're making, it's impacting our lives. But a lot of times those same decisions have no effect on them. They're making the rules and stuff for us. Yep. So change.
That's right. Rules for thee and not for me. I mean, that's the mantra.
And Frederica was even in, from what I've looked up on her, she was even in state house seats and state-run elections. So when you talk about a lifetime politician, she fits that bill, and now she's doing nothing in Congress, as you said, and your district is suffering, and it's like we need to change, not just in your district, but all over the country. We need to do that.
Yep, you are running. You are a benchmark for what needs to be said and what needs to be done across this country, because of exactly what you talk about, Lavern. It is the career politician who comes out and panders for the votes every 2 to 4 years, and then see you later, and passes bills like wearing a hat. I honestly, it baffles me that the constituents in that district. Let me ask you real quick, Lavern. You're out there. You're talking to the people. You've lived there. You've been there forever. And we'll get into some of the charity work you do and all that, which is phenomenal. But you're talking to the constituents. Are they fed up? Are they as fed up as you, me, Jim, with all of this?
Yes, you know, a lot of people are really fed up, and but the truth will remain to be seen, you know, when it comes down to the election dates. Yeah. You know, everybody is always fed up. But are we, as voters, as Americans, are we willing to do what it takes to make that change occur.
Yep. And I want to add a question. I have many questions. I was out looking at your issues and love them all. I wish we could have time to go over all of them, but we'll tell people about your website that they can go out and look at it for your own. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is about education. And because I think it's very important, Frederica's on an education committee. And I worry about politicians like that, because then you look at the education system throughout our country. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what in fact is failing within the education, especially in the inner city? Because we know that's where a lot of failing is coming from. What do you believe should be completed in order to achieve what we have to do to get everybody up?
Well, when I look at the education system, I see a broken system. They're to the point now where we have a school board that's trying to dictate to the parents how and what they want to do, their agenda with the kids. What especially with those mask mandates, they was trying to make the kids wear the mask. And now they are trying to push a trans agenda. They want to be able to teach the kids K-5 about the trans movement. And I strongly disagree about that taking place, because these are kids and they deserve to live a kid's life. They should not be learning anything about sex. They should be learning about education, drawing, spending that time with grandparents or with mommy and daddy, not, wondering what color Jimmy's hair is going to be in the trans movement and, all the other kind of sickness. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I saw some of these books they have, and, Jimmy has two fathers and what they're doing, all of that should be like not allowed in the classroom. So it's a lot going on that should not be permitted once again. And that's why change needs to take place.
Yeah, I mean, schools are failing.
Add on to that, at least with President Trump, he gave the Black community school choice, which now will allow us to be able to take our kids to a better school, for the kids to get a better education, which of course is going to help them to learn and get a better be able to live a better life. Just the F and fail in schools.
Yep. I'm glad you said that. That's a good point.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And the support and financial, financial money to, HBCUs, I think was also a big help to the Black community.
Which you didn't hear a lot of that on CNN.
You sure don't. You sure don't. Why they are failing. Yeah. Lavern, you kind of went into what kind of your plan is and what you would do for your district. It sounds to me like you're certainly going to be a hands-on type of person, as you always have been in your community, which is what the district absolutely needs. And then we talked about the schools, which you and I share a governor together, Governor Ron DeSantis, and we live in the free state of Florida, thank God. So it goes without saying that you kind of agree with how Ron DeSantis' approach is going. Have you, by any chance, just for our listeners' kind of knowledge, have you spoken to Ron DeSantis? Have you had the opportunity to meet him or talk to him at all?
Well, I have been to quite a few of his events, and I have heard him, speak, and I think he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and amazing. And so going into letting kids be kids, obviously the big news in Florida, and we'll get back to the district, is the tax privileges removed from Disney, which I have to think, based on what you've said, that's something you are in agreement with. Because they're interfering with the child's education standards. And if that's what they want to do is get involved with it, then they should have that removed.
Yes. And
I'm assuming you agree with that.
Because what we are seeing there And the stories that are coming out of that place is totally unbelievable. The fact that they've been protecting pedophiles for years, and it's truly unbelievable.
Yep,
it's unbelievable. From a theme park geared towards children, it's shocking.
Yeah.
Jim, did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I'm glad we have individuals like yourself and other people that are because all we hear about is the everyone that's against him, but it's not. We have more people that are for what he's doing than against him. So I applaud what you're doing and all of that with that. So cutting into some of your issues, because I love them. It's something that Dale and I on our podcast, we talk about a lot of them. And one of the ones I want to talk about is the length of the bills. And your statement on your post was that it's not that I don't want to read. It's just, why do I have to read thousands of pages when a bill should go towards what it's supposed to go for? And your limitation of bills, I believe 10 pages is what you recommended. And I believe that Ron DeSantis, that bill that he passed, about the education was 10 pages. And
parental rights.
So can you expand on that a little bit on why you feel it should be a limit to the number of pages?
Well, you just said it basically. You just kind of wrapped it all up in the
sorry.
We see these bills that are thousands of pages long, but we already know the reason why, because there's so much hidden language in there. Mm-hmm. It's they throw all of their other agenda items in with what they're trying to get passed. Some of that has, and the thing is when people look at say like a stimulus package, the only thing they see is, great, we're getting this stimulus package and I'm going to have another $2,000 for this month, but they don't realize there's so much hidden language wrapped up in those other 50, 60, 100 pages that's attached to that bill that's getting ready to destroy us, that's getting ready to destroy this country, that's getting ready to dig us into a deeper economic burden. And it's really going to affect their life, but they don't see that part of it because they're not going to read that. I mean, how many people spend their time reading these thousands of pages of bills? That's not going to happen. So I think 10 pages is great. Yeah. Because with that they can get straight to the point. And how much can you hide in 10 pages?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. You are exactly right, Lavern. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about Black Lives Matter, if you don't mind. From your perspective, I want to get your feeling on the not the message itself. Jim and I are in full agreement that the actual message, the meaning behind it all, is absolutely 100% correct.
Right.
But the people are getting rich at the top. And so what is your thought process on Black Lives Matter? And have they done anything for the 24th district in Florida?
I don't think they have did anything throughout any district throughout the United States except for destroy them. Black Lives Matter are burning, looting, murdering. That's their agenda, to destroy this country. They're a Marxist movement. And if you don't believe it, you could go on YouTube and listen to Patrice Cullins, one of the executive director, I believe she is, of the movement. And she will explain to you that they are a Marxist movement. And if you don't know what a Marxist movement is, then you can also go and Google that and research it. But Black Lives Matter has completely destroyed a lot of the United States with their agenda. And what we saw from them when they was destroying these communities, they didn't just destroy the large businesses. They also destroyed the mom and pop businesses. And a lot of them were owned by African Americans.
Yes.
So if they're here to help us, why would they go and destroy the Black-owned businesses, along with everything else. They have an agenda. They do not care nothing about this country. They come to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's what they are doing. And all the monies that people are sending them because they think they are helping the Black community, all of that is a lie. They're not helping us at all. As a matter of fact, it's a self-enriching project, and they are using that to buy themselves mansions and to live their extravagant lifestyle.
Yep.
None of that money is going to any Black city throughout the United States. So stop sending them the money because you are being totally deceived.
Right.
Very well said.
Very well said, Lavern. Well said, Lavern. And more people like you need to stand up and preach that message because that is the 100% truth on that. So that is very well said,
well,
Jim.
And you have people like Corey Brooks, and I'm sure you've heard of it, the pastor that's on the his 100-day vigil to raise money for community centers, and he's raising the money. And Ferguson had a story where the Black Lives Matter within Ferguson has been asking money from Global Network, because that's what we're talking about, the Black Lives Matter Global Network. And they're not getting any money from them, but they bought a $6 million mansion in California. And so I think that's very important because there's now more communities are speaking out against this and saying, hey, what are you doing for us? And that was very well said on your part. Thank you.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely. Black Lives Matter is doing absolutely nothing for the Black community. That's what they're doing. In case you didn't know, now you got it straight from me.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Yep.
Your opponent has been, as you mentioned, in that seat, just that seat, for 10, 11 years.
Right.
And has basically ran unopposed up until 2020 when you did run against her. And I think maybe surprisingly, you were able to garner 20% of that vote in a very heavily Democratic district with her controlling it, basically. And so that was impressive. Did that number itself and what's gone on the last couple of years, at least, inspire you to do this again?
Yes.
And where do you sit right now as far as the numbers go? What do you think?
Well, I contribute all of that to the work that I do in my community with helping people. Because normally when someone runs against Frederica, you may see they get like maybe 7,000 votes at the most. So I've never seen anyone get the number of votes that I have gotten from running against her. And I also had a lot of Democrats that supported me, and they all said, we do not vote for any Republican. So, this is my first time voting for one, and you'll be the only Republican that we're going to vote for. You're going to be the only Republican that we're going to support. But guess what? That's fine, because judge me as a person. Judge me based on the work that I do in my community. You know, so that's the thing that people looked at the most. And that's one of the weaknesses that, the GOP and the RNC have, because they're not involved in the Black community.
I agree.
Here. So the least they could do is support the candidates that are running that are here. Get involved with what we are doing. Support our campaigns. Support the movement. And that's something that we're not seeing. It's hard enough as a Black candidate running on a conservative platform. I mean, all day long on my Twitter, I got to deal with my inbox. When I check it, I'm being called every name in the book. A sellout, a coon, a house this, so-and-so. But, I don't care about that. And I want y'all to know you're not hurting my feelings, because I could care less about that. I would.
And I say Republican National Party send the the money for Mitch McConnell, send it to you.
Yeah,
because Mitch McConnell
let's make that happen. That's how.
Yeah,
let's make that happen.
Send more money to people like you, to Tim Scott, and to all of these African Americans that are trying to make a difference. Instead of we don't want to use you. Don't use you as symbols. Use you as movements.
Right.
We want to show that. So Mitch McConnell, go away. Send all your money down to Lavern
Spicer.
And let you kick butt.
Yep, exactly.
And that's Lavern Spicer 2020.com.
That's not the first time we're going to hear that.
We're going to not just this interview. We will keep saying it on the podcast.
We will preach your name.
Lavern Spicer 2022.com.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. 2022 now.
Yeah.
Lavern,
about 2020, but we have a strong movement moving. As a matter of fact, we met Frederica in fundraising last quarter, so we are moving forward and we are raising even more money this quarter, and we're just ready to make it happen. It's time.
Yep.
Exactly.
See, my wife and I don't give money to the Republican Party anymore. We don't do that because I don't want money going to Lindsey Graham. I don't want money going to Mitch McConnell. So we give money to candidates. We happen to have a really good Jim Banks is our district representative in the House of Representatives. We give him money. I will send you money, even though you have nothing to do with where I live in Indiana. But
not yet.
I want people, and not just. And when I say people like you, I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic. I don't care. It's the voice, the getting out in the conservative movement to say we are not who the liberals say we are. We are who we are, and we are about working hard. You have a great story, and I think that story needs to get out there.
Correct.
And you're an inspiration, I believe. So
I believe so too. And speaking of that, go into your community service. Go into the food bank, which is just an impressive point on your resume. And
thank you.
And you were doing this well before you even thought about trying to kick the hat lady's rear end in a contest. So tell us about that, please.
Well, like I said, I've been doing that for many years, but I didn't ever think that it would lead me to where I am now, which is running for Congress. I've always had a heart for people and for helping people. So years ago, after my mentor, Curly King, died, I started Curly's House. Is all about her legacy, and it's all about what she poured into my life. And it's about my passion for helping others as well. And we provide food for over 5,000 needy families per month. A lot of them are homeless. Especially, we work very hard with our senior community to make sure that these people are taken care of, to make sure that they get fresh vegetables, fresh food, and personal care items, whatever it is we can help them with, even if it's just spending time with them, listening to their problems and helping them with, just little small things mean a lot to let them know that we are here to support them and keep them in the mainstream of life. That's what it's all about. We also have a lot of homeless people across the street. We provide hot meals for them as well. And I saw someone made a comment on my Facebook page, on my Twitter page. So I want to clear this up. Even though our distribution is Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 3. So they said, oh, she works from 11 to 3, 16 hours a week. Really, bro, you was out and wrong.
Wow.
My staff starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. I have a senior that comes here to donate her time. She's usually here anywhere from 7 to 8 in the morning, and she stays here until 4 o'clock every day. And this lady is 88 years old.
Oh, wow. God bless her.
Yeah.
So anybody that would like to volunteer and help, feel free. give me a call, stop by. We always need the help. And also, we're not far from the Poke and Beans Project, which is known all around the world. I'm sure people seen it a lot on the first 48. Matter of fact, it's about maybe a good 6-7 blocks up the street from where I am. And someone said, oh, she wouldn't last a day in the Pork and Bean Project. Lady, I feed the Poke and Bean Projects. I'm out in the street with people. I'm a people person. You can't be afraid of people. Regardless of what color they are, regardless of their attitude. Sometimes when people come here, they're so angry and bitter because of everything that's going on in their life. But once you begin to talk to them and they remove that little anger part and you can help them, you begin to help somebody repair and rebuild their life. So actually, this is what's better known as a trench ministry. It's the dirty part of doing service that sometimes the churches don't like to touch. So since the churches don't like to touch, God got people out here in the street that's doing the work. And it's called trench ministry. And this is exactly what type of work and service this is. Because by doing this, we are saving people's life. We are repairing people's life. For people that are coming out of the prison system, we're helping them from going back. So we are preventing recidivism, because at least when you come here, we're going to help you get on your feet. We're going to give you some food. If you need clothing, whatever you need for your kids, we're going to help you with all of that. And we're going to guide you in the right direction, send you to the right place where you can get the resources. Some people feel like they are so perfect in this world. Maybe they haven't had any problems or whatever. But if you keep living, I guarantee you some type of trouble will come to your door. So it's all about helping people. Even in politics, we got to help people get that structure into their life so they can get back on track. And we all can get back on track of getting this country back to where it needs to be. Because when I look at y'all look like y'all in the same age group as I am, But in our generation, we didn't see any of this type of foolishness that's taking place, now. Because in our generation, we couldn't go to our parents and say, Mom, I think I'm feeling like being a boy today. I'm thinking about I want a transgender. I couldn't have told my mom anything like that.
Nope.
And how can you know? How can you really know at that age?
How can you even know you still a child?
Yep.
Give you a chance at least to go through your teenager years when you get. Come on, you got to be 18 to buy a cigarette. You got to be 18 to vote. You got to be 21 to get into a club. But at 5 and 6 years old, you have the right to say, hey, I want to make a sex change.
Said.
I want to trans into this. Or I no longer want to have a vagina. I want to have a penis. What is this? What are we coming to in this country?
Exactly. Amen.
I can say this.
I can't even say it better. I could not say it better.
I hope you win in your district, but if something happens that you don't, come up to Indiana. We'll get you in here. I'll get you on. You'll run and we'll get you there because you are awesome. I hope the people in your district listen to you and understand what Frederica is not doing for them and what you will. And I just think it's outstanding.
And the important point of all this is that, Lavern, you've already done far more for your district
honestly
than the hat lady's done, right? Far more for your district. And people need to know that too. So imagine if you had a voice in Congress, what could be done? Mm-hmm. What could be done for that district, for the 24th district in Florida? The sky's the limit with you in there. I know it. I feel it. So
I will fight like hell for this district.
You will fight like
for this country.
And,
yep, you absolutely will. I mean, that
get
is
get the AOCs and the OMRs shutting up.
if you could do that, boy, if you could do that. President Spicer has a nice ring to it too.
Oh, actually, yeah. Or, actually. One question I do want to ask you about, because I was noticing that you're a part of some groups. And what exactly is the Federation of Republican Women? I think that's interesting, and I kind of like that.
Well, the Federated Women Organization is an organization of women that are pro-America, that believe in this country and fight for this country, and they are federated women. That's why they have that name. And we are also
I love it.
about fighting for this country. And we also support a lot of elected officials. And our agenda is to see America stay America, and to stop that communist movement that's taking place. That a lot of people are really sleeping on that. So people, it's time to wake up. Wake up and fight.
Wake up and fight is right. Just like you're doing every day. Every single day.
That underground communist agenda is moving fast and it's moving forward. And if we don't fight and put a stop to it, the next generation will not stand a chance at all.
Yep. Exactly. And I have a feeling that the Federation of Women Republican know the difference between a man and a woman. Yeah. So that's also super important, isn't it? Yeah. Lavern, I'm telling you, I could go on and on and on with you. I literally would really love to have you back at some point, if you don't mind, as this thing keeps going on. Sure. We want to support you. Tell us how people can support and donate to your candidacy again, if you don't mind.
Okay, they could go to my website, and it's Lavern Spicer 2022.com.
Correct. And they can donate. Is this true? They can donate at spicerforcongress.com.
Yes,
is that true?
Also. That one
okay,
also.
good. Good.
For Congress also. Yeah.
Good. Keep that one. And Jim, is there anything else you want to ask Lavern? I know her.
Nope. That's.
I could go on for another hour if she wants to.
Yeah, we will. We'll keep repeating those, especially the Spicer. To donate money to you. I want to make sure we do that because we're going to get, we'll put our Facebook out there. We'll get everybody out there to keep sharing, and everyone share. And then eventually it's going to get where it needs to go. And we want to support individuals like yourself. And I just think it's awesome. You just have an awesome story. And I love to hear these stories.
Great story, great energy, great fight, great message. Lavern, I can't find anything wrong with you. What's going on?
I mean, your issues. We didn't go through all the issues, but your issues of term limits. I love them. Yes. I love them.
We can ask her.
Yeah,
if you got time, I'd love to hear that.
Can you explain your term limits? I love that.
Yeah, I agree with the term limit, and myself and other American First candidates, we did sign a pledge for the term limits, and term limits need to be in place. And one of the reasons, when you take a look at what you see now in the White House, that is the perfect example of why we need term limits. All across the board, we need term limits. We have a president that got elected by 81 million votes.
Allegedly.
We got elected by 81 million votes. And whenever he shows up, nobody is there. And when he's asked a question, he does not answer the question, but his answer is always, "Oh, I can't answer that. They're going to get angry with me." So what the hell are you up there for? If you can't answer any of the questions, what are you doing there?
Oh my
or it's
gosh!
Russia's, or it's Russia's fault. It's Putin's fault.
I think it's Russia's fault. Of course.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Lavern, I do want to ask you something else, if you don't mind. You, excuse me. When did you realize you had more Republican viewpoints than anything else? When did that happen? Was it Trump? Was it Trump that turned you onto that, or was it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Trump had a lot to do with it. He really did.
Mm-hmm.
He really did. But when I started my organization, I learned so much.
Okay.
I had to work with the people. I had to work with my community. I had to work with the elected officials. A lot of them would come by when they was running for office. And then once they got elected, they made all the promises. Then once they got elected, you call, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't have the power to do this. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. So when Trump said, why don't you take back your district, go take back your place because they're not helping you anyway, that resonated across the United States with so many black candidates. That's why last time you had more black running for office than ever in the history of the United States, because that caught our attention. And with me, I say he is absolutely right. It's time to go to the next level of helping people. It's time to go to the next level of fighting for what you believe in. And it's time to go to the next level of making things happen for the United States. And we need fighters in Congress to help MTG and Lauren and Brian Donaldson fight for this.
Exactly. You are exactly right.
The other rhinos need to go.
Go. Yep.
Yep.
Let's retire Mitch McConnell.
Yes.
and Mitt Romney. And you name it.
And
Lisa
Liz
Murkowski
Cheney.
and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. I mean, there's a list of them, right? So, yeah, and they're going to get theirs. I have a feeling they are going to get theirs, and the Democrats are going to get a shellacking in 2022, and I hope you're part of that. That's
Lavern,
for sure.
I think there's going to be an opening for governor in your state here in another couple of years. So
There might be.
you can run that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That may be
Wouldn't it?
very interesting.
Oh, I'm telling you.
We have some fiery, one in particular, very fiery Democrat that's running for governor. And if she get that seat, which I doubt, because we're going to fight for Governor DeSantis to continue on, but she would totally destroy
She would.
of Florida. She is hell bound on destroying this place. So I would really hate to see her, win. I would really hate to see that.
We're not even going to mention her name.
Even gonna mention her name.
Nope.
But
No.
horrible.
Horrible is right. Horrible is right.
Yep.
I believe Governor DeSantis is going to get reelected without
I
a doubt.
believe that Governor DeSantis is going to win by a landslide. Matter of fact, I'm predicting that he will win by a landslide.
You heard it here first, people, on Two Guys, One Coup. Predicted
And
it.
just to clarify, I meant
landslide.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I want to clarify is I meant an opening for governor is because he's going to be the president. That's what I meant by opening governor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with your term limits unless it comes to Ron DeSantis and Lavern Spicer.
Exactly.
Then I want them in forever.
You can be a lifetime politician because you're not going to get persuaded to the wrong thing. And that's why we need people like you.
Exactly.
Not
you can't be bought. You can't be sold. You've lived that life.
We always believe they all have good intentions going in there. But then when you see the money, I just think they're bought. I just think because of the Mitch McConnells, the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, they make these newcomers come in and follow suit. Whereas
someone like you's not. Mitch McConnell, I'm going to vote for whatever I want to vote for. Kevin McCarthy, I'm going to do what I think's best for my people and the American people.
Jim, I don't think any Democrat has good intentions at this point.
Well, there's some Republicans that don't either. So.
Agreed.
We need to get them out.
Agreed. Lavern, thank you. Jim, do you want to, first of all, like I had mentioned earlier, sorry, that we heard you on the Conservatude with Mark Kramer. Mark wanted me to say hello to you. So I wanted to make sure I get that in. Yeah. He's become a real good friend to us, and his show's fantastic, and he does a great job. Yeah. He's got that radio voice, doesn't he?
It's a great voice, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, sort of like mine, but
yeah, not really. But hey,
listen, you can donate at Lavern Spicer 2022.com.
Yes.
You can donate at Spicer for Congress. We're going to put all this stuff on our Facebook page. We're going to put it on. It'll be on our podcast. Everyone will see it. And we want people to find you and look you up and research you and vote for you. Because you are a constitutional patriot, America first candidate that this country needs.
Yeah. And our little TikTok blurb, we're going to introduce you on our little TikTok blurb that we do later, too.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
we'll
we will.
As well,
we will.
So.
Get you on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the kids are doing these days.
They don't want old guys like us on there, but it's too bad.
It's too bad.
A free country.
They got us. That's right. Lavern, is there anything else you'd like to add before we have to say goodbye?
No, just vote for me and support my campaign.
Yep.
And when I win, you will have a real fighter in Congress.
Amen.
And once I'm elected, not only will I fight for Congress, for my constituents and for this country, watch out, AOC and that Brat Pack, I'm coming for y'all.
Yes. And by the way, when you win, can Dale and I come to your party? All right.
Yes.
Yep, I'm coming. That's for sure. Too late. The invite's there, and now everyone's going to know. So, Lavern, thank you so much. Again, we would love to have you back on whenever you have time or you want to talk further.
Okay.
You're welcome here at any time.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, look her up. Please donate. Please support her and candidates in your area around the country that are just like her with the same message, because that's what it's going to take to take our country back. Yep. So, Lavern, thank you so much again. We do appreciate it. And good luck. And we will talk to you again. I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Well, folks, that was Lavern Spicer. I don't know what you all think about her, but I know what Jim and I think about her. She's a hoot. She's an absolute hoot, and she literally, she's lived the life. You know, she's the boots on the ground experienced person Congress needs. They don't need the Lisa Murkowskis. They don't need the Mitch McConnells. They don't need the Lindsey Grahams anymore. They need grassroots people. And Jim, what'd you think of that? You know,
we've told her on the, we told her personally outside of after the interview that, we could use you in Indiana.
Yeah. I mean,
it's an uphill battle for her. In the area that she's at, it's heavily Democratic. She lost by a lot in the last election. However, she did gain more votes than anybody else that has ever had against her. And because she comes from the area that she comes from, it's how she can reach out to her constituents in that area that said, "Hey, Frederica's doing nothing for you. She has done nothing. She tried to pass a bill so you could wear a hat." So she could wear her cowboy hat. And so but she's great. I mean, she's great. She's great. We think needs to move in that direction.
Absolutely. Anyway, she's great. We wish her the best of luck. We thank her for coming on. It was really eye-opening and really her story, Spicer for Congress 2022. Donate to her. Go look up her story. Honestly, it's impressive. She's the person we need.
Yep.
Honestly, she is the type of person we need in there all across the country, not just in Florida. If you have candidates like that in your area, look those people up.
Yeah.
And if you don't, get one.
Yeah.
Get one. Jim, great show. Thank you again for everything. Thank everyone for following us. Remember, we're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. Many people are listening to us now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, which is great. Keep that up. Give us a 5-star review on there. That like we've mentioned before. Yes, we're pandering for your reviews. It's okay. It's how people get to find us, and it's how like content is found. Again, follow us. Remember to watch Mark or listen to Mark Kramer on the Conservative as well when you're done listening to Two Guys and One Coup. Jim, you got anything else to add for today's show?
Nope, not at all.
Wow.
Sorry about running so long, but we thought the interview was important, and
absolutely,
so it was great. We really enjoyed it, and good luck.
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it.
And
we'll have her
again.
back.
Thanks again to Lavern for
it's
our first interview, so it was kind of fun. So
it was fun. It was totally fun.
Yeah.
Jim, thank you again. Great show. Yeah. We'll see all of you next Tuesday. See y'all. Bye.